Well, huh? Huh? It was a pathetic condition of your answers. Okay. So we will discuss the answers first, then we go to the chapter. So this is a practice of your coming MCQ test. So you will get from gravitation. You think gravitation chapter is well less and a few pages. Very easy. No, actually our physics is mainly based on more application level of our life situations. So that is what. Anyone can tell me which are the questions you really think you need to be discussed and you need to be studied? You can tell me, because all of you must have seen your score, correct? So I will go through one thing, and when we discuss, if you think, ma'am, we need to understand this one, so I will repeat that. Please on the video. I have only 3 students on the board. Ashik, Shania. Today I will send all the people those who are switching off the video in the group. Many times I told you, but you are becoming a bad habit for you. So don't do that. Clear? So first question, gravitational force is directly proportional to. What is the correct answer in that? Square of the mass, ratio of the mass, product of mass. What is the answer? Now also I need to give you the answer, children. You have your scorecard, you have seen it, so you know what's wrong. Okay, Saeed. Okay, Saeed. Yes? Justin, which is the correct answer? This is from the statement, universal law of gravitation. That is, the gravitational force between two objects is directly proportional to product of the masses. So from that sentence only I have put that question. And inversely proportional to square of the distance. So square of the mass may not be correct, ratio of the mass may not be correct. So that is why product of the masses. Next, weight of an object on the moon is, I think everyone knows that. What is that? Tell me. Hello?
1/6.
How much? 1/3, 1/6, 1/5. What's the correct answer, Gauri?
1/6.
1/6, correct. Next, the value of acceleration due to gravity. What is the answer, Adulya? 9.4, 9.5, 9.8.
9.8.
Yes, because this value you should not forget. When you go to 10th standard, as well as +1 and +2, we are using the same thing. So don't forget that value. It's a standard. Okay. Justin, SI unit of weight, kg, Newton, meter per second. Newton. Weight is Newton and mass is kg. Okay. And how can you calculate the weight? If you multiply mass of the object with gravity, 9.8, you will get the weight. Okay. And weight changes from place to place, but mass never changes. Clear? Okay. Next. So I think majority have made a mistake with the 5th question. I already discussed that question before the exam, but still some of them did not get the answer. The gravitational force between two objects is F. If masses of objects are doubled, what will be its gravitational force? The question is, the clue of the question is, what is that? Masses of the objects doubled. That means mass of the first object. Correct, Sobal, it is 4F. So how do you get that 4F? Because mass of the first object also doubled, mass of the second object also doubled. But still some of you made a mistake. I'm doing it once again, that one. So first thing, you should know what is your equation to solve it. You should know what is the equation to solve it. Then only we can do. So gravitational force equation is G m1 m2 by d square. This is before doubling. Before doubling, this is the equation. Now, after doubling of masses, I did not tell you one of the mass is doubled or two of the mass. I said after doubling of masses means your equation is going to be G into 2m1 into 2m2 by d square. That's the one. So when you get it, you will get the answer G m1 m2 by d square. And what is G here? It is actually equal to original force. So you will get it. Answer is 4F. That means 4 times the gravitational force is doubled when the masses are doubled. Suppose the masses is tripled. If the masses are tripled, then your answer is going to be G 3m1 3m2 by d square. 3 into 3 9. Then your answer is going to be G m1 m2 by d square. That means it becomes 9f. So it goes on like that. Okay. So it is depend upon your question. So read the question carefully and you have to learn. So learn this type of questions, and this kind of questions very often will come. Not only 9, in +1 also. Continuation of this chapter come in +1. So we have the repetition of the sum of these topics. Okay. So please get the basic now only. Clear? Even I did not give you answer of yesterday I did reduce to half of the distance. Yeah. Similarly, suppose distance is doubling. If my question is distance is doubling, not the mass, distance is doubling. How do you solve your equation like that? Same method. First write before doubling the equation. Now after doubling the distance, after doubling the distance. Okay. Then your equation is going to be G m1 m2, which is doubling, distance is doubling. That means when you double, the distance become 2d. Therefore, it will be 2d square. Got it? 2d square. That means when you square this term, you will get G m1 m2 by 2d square. It is actually going to 4d square. 4d square. Then again, same method. What is Gm1 m2 by d square? It goes to f. What is now here? It is going to be 1 by 4f. Now, not 4f, 1 by 4f. Why? In the statement it is given gravitational force is inversely proportional to square of the distance. Inversely proportional. That means if distance increases, gravitational force attraction decreases. If the distance decreases, gravitational force increases. In this case, what happened? The distance increased. It became 4d square. So gradually, the original gravitational force reduces. It becomes 1 by 4f or f by 4. So I have given one option f by 4. So f by 4 will come in this case. Okay, when distance is increasing. Suppose distance is increasing tripled or 3 times increasing, then your answer is going to be 3d square. It's going to be 9d square. Then gradually our gravitational force reduces by 1 by 9, f by 9. Clear? So I hope you understood. So it's not only simply statements. Statement tells you a lot of. Okay. Similarly, we have learned kinetic energy also. There are 2 factors we learned. If the mass increases, kinetic energy also increases. The same type of question can come in that also. Okay. In the present chapter, what we are dealing. Same type of questions can come in that also. Okay. So whichever factors, whichever equation, this kind of questions are very common. It is not necessary it should be in gravitation, it should be in motion chapter, it should be in force and laws. It's not like that. Anything which is that statement is given. For another example, talk about work done. You have learned work done is equal to Fs, correct? So work done, Fs means work done directly proportional to force, directly proportional to displacement. So if any of this quantity is increasing, gradually work done also increasing, just like what is happening gravitational force. If any of these quantities are decreasing, then work done also decrease. So same pattern of questions can come from in all the cases wherever we have a equation. And you also learn by Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. In this also, what is the condition? F directly proportional to mass, directly proportional to acceleration. So any of these quantities increases, gradually F is increasing. But if you are getting an equation like this, that means F is equal to ma, A is equal to F by m. Suppose you are getting that in equation like that, acceleration directly proportional, but acceleration is inversely proportional to mass. So whichever in the denominator, inversely proportional, whichever in the numerator, directly proportional. So for any equation, if you get this kind of a questions, if you understand this pattern, if it is product, if it is in the numerator, directly proportional. If it is in the denominator, inversely proportional. That means if this reduces, this will increase. If this will increase, this will reduce. But in the numerator cases, if this will increase, this also will increase. If this decreases, this also will decrease. So once you get this concept in your brain, children, any type of problem in any chapter like this type, you will able to solve it. And up to +2, these are very common questions, factors. These are the factors affecting some physical quantity. Okay. So I hope you understood that portion now. The next question. Law of gravitation gives the gravitational force between sun and planets only, earth and moon only. Earth and moon only. Any two bodies have some mass. Ashik, come on video. Yes. Abin. Because some of the students really you play the tricks with the teacher. Because anyway, I am not going to lose, you are going to lose. This now present last 1 month up to February, it is your crucial period. You are going to end into your annual exam. From March onwards, you are going to start your 10th standard class. So remember that. From January onwards, 10th standard and +2 students are coming to the school. After them, it will be your turn. So remember that. So please be attentive. Try to get all the thing what I'm teaching and get prepared for your final exam. That's it. Clear? School is going to close by 23rd. We are now meeting on after that. So see that. Clear? Okay. Okay. So this question from which point this question come? This kind of question is not in the textbook, correct? But the concept is clear. Why? Every object in the universe attract each other. That is gravitational law. So this question came from that one point. Every object attract. So sun and planets only? No. That's why that answer is wrong. Earth and moon only? No. So that answer is wrong. What is the third answer? Any two bodies have some mass. Any two bodies. If it has a mass, maybe one electron and one proton, or one neutron and one proton, any smallest particle and biggest particle. everyone will have mass. Any object which has mass will attract each other, but we don't experience that because one reason, earth mass is greater than us. Second point, Newton's third law. For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. So these are the two reasons why we don't feel the attractive force between us, or between the table and you, between the chair and you. Got it? Okay. So that's the reason. So based on that point, next question. Weight, I know, you and everyone know. Weight can be measured using spring balance. I don't have to discuss. Go to question number 8. The earth and the moon are attracted each other by gravity. The moon attracts earth with dash. So this question is coming because of Newton's third law. Okay. So first option, different force. No. They are not, even though gravitational force of the moon is less than earth. But still, there is Newton's third law. For every action, equal and opposite reaction. If moon is attracting earth, earth also attracting the moon with equal force in opposite direction. So that is why earth is not moving towards the moon, or moon moving towards the earth. Because moon is attracting in a constant orbit. Similarly, sun is attracting every planet. But at the same time, planets also attracting sun with equivalent. Suppose earth is the smallest planet than Jupiter. So sun has to apply a force which is according to earth attractive force. Suppose earth is attracting the sun with around 6,000 Newton. Then sun also attract the earth with the same 6,000 Newton. Then they are equal in opposite. So it get cancelled. That is what we have learned in second chapter, balanced force and unbalanced force. So everything, all these chapters are connected. Okay, it's not separate. That's the reason if earth has more gravitational force than moon, the moon should come closer to the earth. That's not happening. That's not happening. Clear? So your correct answer is equal force. This equal force. Then question number 9. The mass of a child on the surface of earth is 30 kg. What will be his weight on earth? So already mass is given, g is given. You just multiply, because weight is equal to mass into gravity. You will get 300 Newton. Next, a block weighs 80 Newton on the surface of the earth. Its weight on the moon. I already told you, moon's gravity is 1/6 of earth gravity. So an object has a weight 80 Newton on the surface of the earth. Then its weight on the moon will be 18/6. So you will get the answer 3 Newton. Clear? Are you all okay with this chapter now? So MCQ 3, you can expect this kind of questions. Study the same practice question paper so that when you get a questions just like something related to this kind of questions, then it is easy for you to study. Clear? Okay? Yes. Any doubt regarding this question, children? Anyone did not understand? Minha, Melita, Ahalam, Emerin, Elsa, you are the students are nearly 1 year is silent in the class. I can tell you who are the people is okay. Throughout 1 year we are going to end. You all do not show your face and not even ask any doubt. So I don't know how much you grasp. But the mark in your revision test will give me the feedback. You all are not studying at home. Either you are spending time watching movies or computer game, or you are taking lightly. Okay. So don't think we are going to repeat entire chapter in month of January. We are already started our revision. So be serious. Okay. Elsandal, I not even seen your face for months, really. Even I ask you also, you all never open your mouth, never even show your face. So that's it, our effect of this class. Clear? Okay. So now we are moving on to last session of the chapter, work, power, and energy. Last class, we learned conservation law of energy. Okay. So work is over. Now we are moving on to last topic of chapter, power. Okay. So power, we represent with the capital letter P. Yeah, not small letter p, because small letter p is momentum. Small letter p represent the momentum. Clear? Okay, now what is the power? Already everyone knows. Whenever we want to do some work, clear? Anjali Priya, whenever we want to do some work, is it energy alone is enough? Anjali? No. You should have ability, correct? You should have ability to exert that energy. So that ability to exert energy or ability to do some work in particular time is known as power. You know, muscular power. Okay. Where we understand muscular power, for example, two boys, one is very small boy, another one is a little elder boy. Maybe one boy is 4th standard, another boy is a 9th standard like you. And both of them assigned to a job. Okay. That means to clean one house, clean the room or something like that. Or something heavy things to carry. Suppose a small boy has to carry a suitcase, heavy suitcase. The same suitcase has to carry by the 9th standard boy. Now, who will do the work faster? Is it small boy and the bigger boy? Because both has to carry the same heavy box separately. Can you tell me who will able to carry that heavy box faster?
Big boy.
Big boy. Yeah. Why big boy? What is the reason?
Because he's having more power.
Yes. So big boy has more mass and he has more energy. He has more power. But the small boy, it's a 4th standard boy. He doesn't have that much power. So what we can assume from that, the energy spent in a particular time. Maybe that small boy may carry. He takes 5 minutes. By the time the bigger boy take it within 1 minute or 2 minutes. So time is a matter. Okay. Small boy may do, maybe he will be pulling or pushing or something he does, he may do, but time taken by the small boy may be more than the bigger boy. So that means if you want to determine a power of a person, you have to assign in what time how much work he has done. Okay. Thus, we are coming to the definition of the power. That is, power is the rate of doing work. Power is the rate of doing work or work done in same definition. Any one of the definition you can write. Rate of doing work or work done in unit time or energy spent in unit time. So these are the two different definitions for power. Any one definition you write, you will get the mark. Energy spent in unit time. Rate of doing work, work done in unit time or energy spent in unit time. Clear? Okay. And what's the SI unit of power? Before we go to SI unit, we get an equation. The equation means power is the energy spent in unit time or work done in unit time. That means we can write power is equal to work done by time or energy in time. So this is the equation to calculate the work done. Okay. Suppose you don't know the work done. We can also write Fs by T. So many equations. And also, you can also write power is equal to Fv also. See, these are the equations to calculate power depend upon the question which you give. Why it is Fs? Because you have learned work done is equal to Fs. Now this is something new you are learning. How it become force into velocity. V means force into velocity. That if you take it S by T, it is equal to displacement by time. Correct? S is equal to displacement by time. So instead of displacement by time, you can write the equation velocity. Correct? So power also equal to Fs by T or Fv, force into velocity. So that is depends upon the situations. Suppose force is given to you, velocity of a moving object is given to you. For example, you supposed to push a chair or push a cupboard. The question is tell you, you applied the force of 100 Newton and the cupboard is moved with a 2 meter per second. In that case, you can directly write what is your power. Force into with what velocity you have shifted the cupboard. Okay. Therefore, SI unit of power, that is equal to, what's the unit of work done? What's the unit of work done, Minha? What's the unit of work done? Work done. Minha? What happened? Audio is not working. If you don't know the answer, you can tell me, ma'am, I don't know. What's the unit of work done, Minha? Do you remember?
1 joule.
Ah, correct. Joule. Okay. Correct. What's the SI unit of time? Time. Elsa, what's the SI unit of time, Elsa? On your, what's the unit of time? Simple, no? Second. Are you saying? Because I can hear your audio. Clear? Yes. So, on the basis of that, work done is equal to joule time. So, you can write it. The unit of power is joule per second. Power is joule per second. This is actually in terms of mechanical work, lifting, shifting, and all we can use joule per second. But in the case of electrical work, we use another equation, that is watt. Not W-H-A-T, it is watt, W-A-T-T. Okay. So two equations, joule per second or watt. Watt you must have heard, no? 100 watt bulb, 50 watt bulb. So what is this watt for? Watt is telling you that light has a capacity of that much. That's the meaning of it. Clear? Okay. So these are the SI unit of power. So these are smaller units. Okay. Now we have bigger units of power. So you can write next, bigger units of power. That is, one is kilowatt. KW means kilowatt. It's a bigger units. Why it is bigger units? Because 1 kilowatt equal to 1000 watt. 1 kilowatt means 1000 watt. So for example, 20 kilowatt. 20 kilowatt, you can write it as 20,000 watt. Or you can write it in terms of powers. You have already learned, no, how to write in powers of 10. This way also you can write. So it's an example of 20 kilowatt. Another example, 0.5 kilowatt. 0.5 kilowatt is equal to 0.5 into 1000. So it is going to be 500 watt. Multiply with 1000. 0.5 into 1000. Put the decimal, you will get 500 watt. This is one bigger units of power. Okay. Second bigger units is horsepower. In Malayalam, you will say Kudira Shakti, no? That means a horse can ride with the maximum speed. That is horsepower. You write it as HP. Not Inkjet HP, it is horsepower HP. That is 1 horsepower. Correct. Okay. And 1 horsepower is equal to how much watt? 746 watt. So 2 horsepower means 2 into 7. So for example, 2 horsepower is equal to 2 into 746. That's equal to 6 twos are 12, 4 twos are 8, 7 twos are 14. So 14 watt. Okay. So almost we completed our portion, but what will remain with problems. There's a lot of problems we need to do it. Theory part is over. Okay. So next class we will do the problem related to this conversion of kilowatt, 1000 watt. How do we use all those things? So you need to by heart these values. 1 kilowatt is equal to how many watt? 1 horsepower is equal to how many watt? Clear? Okay. So thank you, students. So we will meet in the next class.
Thank you.